Welcome back, everyone. I'm Michael, and today we're going to take a look at a relationship between two sisters that turned horribly wrong. Make sure to like and subscribe for more, and let's begin. The post was created by user CuteQuarter9399. The first post was created 2 years ago and is titled, "My sister is turning into the biggest bridezilla, and I can't stop laughing." So, a little background. I am the second youngest of 5 kids. My older siblings are 2 brothers and 1 older sister, who we'll call E. She and I have a 5-year age gap. As a result, we never really had that sisterly bond you would expect most sisters to have. Growing up, I was always a burden to her, and anytime it was my turn to pick the family movie or just do anything, she would get upset. The reason being that she had control issues as early as 9, so I'm guessing you can already see where I'm going with this. I'm currently 18 and E turned 24 earlier this year. Her BF, who we'll call A, proposed to her at a family beach day earlier in June of this year. It was one of those big white letters and rose petals proposals that he set up before my family arrived. She was thrilled and said yes, and my parents were very happy, along with my older siblings. The youngest is 4, so I don't think she understood what was happening. Now, here's the drama. Since the proposal, she has gone into full bridezilla mode. At the behest of my mom, E made me a bridesmaid, so I'm roped into all the BS. So far, these are the demands my dear sister has made. All bridesmaids must pay for their $300 blush pink dress, shoes, hair, and makeup. All bridesmaids need to attend all wedding and bachelorette events, including the $800 bachelorette spa day. They must attend the bachelorette vacation weekend in Toronto at the Fairmont Hotel, which costs over $1,000. They must go to all of the bride's dress appointments and food tasting days. My mom says it's bride anxiety. I say it's just my sister trying to control everything because she wants a December wedding on a ski hill. I realized I didn't include the controlling parts. My bad, here they are. All bridesmaids need to go to hair and skin appointments every 6 weeks to ensure their hair and skin are flawless for pictures. It's out of pocket too. Anyone with tattoos needs to cover them. Our dresses will do that. They go to the neck, ankles, and wrists. The bride wants to be the only one sleeveless and showing her tattoos and colorful hairstyle. Either we need to get our hair dyed to a natural color or wear a wig at our expense. The dresses only come in sizes 00 to 10, a pretty good range for most, but those who don't fit are expected to try to lose weight. I'm a size 12 and already my sister is calling me fat. She sent me a keto diet book through Amazon. No one is to communicate directly with the bride or groom. It has to go through us, the bridesmaids first. She made a Gmail which we all have access to, and we aren't supposed to ask her if something is okay. We should just know. This is the part that stresses mom out. We also need to remind the guests that they need to pay a deposit of $150 to save their spot, and if we don't get it, they don't come. We also need them to confirm what they'll purchase from the registry or the dollar amount they'll give. Edit, y'all are making me realize my family isn't normal. I will look into therapy with my college and see if I can move into residence earlier. I want to thank the person who privately messaged me about getting my mom off my bank account and also getting my birth certificate, etc. I think I will do that after talking to the bank's people. I texted my mom to ask if she, dad, and I could talk about it while my sister was gone to her fiancé for the night. I hope to show my mom and dad this post to help them understand where I'm coming from. Edit 2, I'm going to take some time away from this, just because a lot of you are right. This isn't normal. Our relationship as a family is not normal. I called my aunt while I was at work. For those of you who don't know, she's my godmother and she thinks my mom is nuts. We talked about everything. She's encouraging me to speak to my parents about it. Not only the wedding, but the favoritism and everything else since childhood. She's also on standby in case things go to shit. My shift at work finishes in a few more hours, then I'll go home and pack a quick bag of stuff for my aunt to grab before my parents and I talk. About a week after that post, OP created an update. Firstly, I just wanted to apologize for how long this has taken. My parents originally planned to talk that night, but mom said she wasn't feeling good and decided to go to sleep early, which was around 6 p.m. That feeling stayed for a while. We then got busy moving my sister into her fiance's place, and by the time everything settled, my parents forgot we had something to discuss and brushed it off to the side. We finally had the conversation 2 days ago, and I needed a day to think and just react to things. So this is everything we talked about. As you can expect, the update isn't the best, but not really for the reasons you might think. I don't know if I have a text limit, so I apologize if there is a part 2. So it turns out my dad never knew the whole story. He knew he was responsible for paying for my sister's dress and a portion of the wedding or honeymoon. This is because my parents told me that my parents had been setting up 25K accounts for myself and my siblings. My dad confirmed this through bank records. The rule was that these accounts could be used for anything once we turned 19 and went off to post-secondary. It was our money to use. I had just turned 19 and my dad was getting ready to sign the money over to me when we had this conversation, which caused a bit of a blow up, but right now I need to give some background info I was given. Right after my sister got engaged, she apparently had a conversation with my mom about how she always felt like the child that was left out. She's used this line before, so I do believe my mom fell for it and was guilt-tripped. As a result of a very long conversation, my mom figured that she could divert some of the funds from all the kids' accounts to pay for my sister's wedding. For those wondering, my two older brothers are in the military. They aren't married yet and live on the base. They never used their 25K because the Army in Canada pays for your education, housing, etc. So my mom had 50K at her disposal. Then combined with my sister's and my 25K, it would have been 100K. Mom figured that because I had 17K saved up, she could give me my 25K later for a car or a house payment or wedding. Sister did this because, again, she is a master manipulator and possible narcissist. She used some of my mom's mental and physical health conditions against her. When I was born, mom went through very bad PPD, resulting in her leaving for a treatment facility for 4 months, leaving my sister, two brothers, me, and dad behind. My two older brothers were 9 and 7 at the time, and I was only a few months old. My sister, for reference, was about 5. Since my brothers were trouble, my dad and his brother had their hands full. A live-in nanny took care of me, so my sister had my aunt, who lived with us at the time and got little to no attention from dad at an age where attention was important. I think that triggered the bad side of her to come out. While the nanny helped the sister with the basics, she wasn't a replacement for mom. Even my aunt wasn't a replacement for mom, despite her being there mainly for my sister and sleeping in the same bed as her, helping her with homework, having girls' trips, etc. When mom came back, my sister had a huge grudge. Not to mom, but to me. I was the reason mom left, which led to her trying to smother me with a pillow. Mom caught her in time, and it was a funny story for us as a family. It turns out that's a coping mechanism. Over my childhood, my sister used the manipulation to get what she wanted, and she did it for the wedding too. Mom felt bad and decided to give her little dove everything she desired. I proceeded to have a meltdown as my sister grew up. It wasn't little toys and candy anymore, but girls' trips. As a result of this, dad and I grew very close. He's my best friend. My sister and I had a decent relationship from when I was around 12 to 14, but it changed again when mom got pregnant with my youngest sister. I became the target again of my sister's rage and abuse after that. While I know it doesn't excuse a lot of things, I figured it would be important to give you the whole story since I forgot some very important details in my last post, which I added later. The next update was created 3 months later. Hey everyone, figured I would update you since it's been a very long time. I apologize, I lost the login to this account but just found it, so onto the update. Family therapy is going really well. My two brothers were given temporary leave to come back to Canada. They were both stationed overseas for a bit. I believe they have to go back soon. Our family is getting back on track and my mom and I are closer than ever. It honestly feels like I have my best friend back. As for my sister, honestly, I don't know what's going on with her. A friend of mine still follows her social media and everything seems well. The wedding was moved up to November 26th instead of December 17th as she had originally planned. She and her fiancé have bought a place. Apparently, she's pregnant too, but this is simply a rumor. She's cut all of us off and her fiancé's family is talking about us, but we're holding strong. In other more exciting news, I love Ottawa. I go back home once a month for in-person therapy, but I also have 3 virtual sessions monthly. On top of that, my oldest brother is getting married. So while I lost a terrible sister, I gained an amazing sister. She's so sweet, texts me every couple of days, and gets me Uber Eats orders when I'm down despite being provinces away. She's so sweet. She asked if I would feel comfortable being her maid of honor. She's an only child and her mom passed away. I agreed. So by this time next year, I'll have an official new sister. There's not a whole lot else to say, but I also have a boyfriend. He's in the army too and very supportive and loving. Our 6-month anniversary is in January and I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, thank you so much Reddit. You are all amazing, beautiful, soulful humans and I hope you all have prosperous, healthy, and fruitful lives. The day after the wedding, OP provided yet another update post. This would also be the final post she makes regarding this topic. A lot of people wanted to know what happened at the wedding yesterday, so I shall provide the update. My family and I were banned from going, but my cousins and friends in her now husband's family filled me in. So not a whole lot happened at the ceremony. The mother of the groom showed up in an off-white dress, and a few people brought their kids despite it being a child-free ceremony. But no true drama happened until the reception. I feel a bit bad for my sister because of this, but the groom's mother invited one of the groom's ex-girlfriends, but it went wrong. She tried to get between my sister and her now husband, but her husband told her to leave. Honestly, it wasn't dramatic overall. They made it to the altar and are leaving for their honeymoon today or tomorrow. But one thing that was confirmed is my sister is definitely pregnant. At the end of the wedding speeches, the groom said his with a slideshow, and the last slide was an ultrasound picture saying the baby is due in June 2023. Sorry, it isn't much of an update. At first, I was thinking that the peak of the story was going to occur at the wedding, but instead it was during a flashback. The fact that a 5-year-old tried to kill her infant sister is just insane. It's even more crazy that the family brushed it off as a joke. Now, I do think that not all of OP's family is actually aware of this. She says that her dad is her best friend, so I'm assuming that he's a pretty competent man. However, OP's mom is clearly dealing with her own trauma even after her therapy for her PPD. This makes her easily manipulated, as we have heard from OP. So it might be possible that only she and OP's sister actually know about this attempt on her life. Like OP said, this is a coping mechanism. You're just suppressing a deeper issue, and if left to brew, it's going to resurface. I think that it is highly irresponsible to just let OP's sister off without any form of therapy after she just tried to kill someone.